What's going on, guys? Decided I would rebuild my cats here, and I was like, you know what, I'll try to do it on video and hopefully I can get this pulled off. I tend to be quite picky with my builds. They can take a little while sometimes, but we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. I'll go through building it, wicking it, and then at the end of it we'll take a vape on it. So what I have here, this is 26 gauge and it's two wires. What I've done is I've trapped both of them under the center positive post and then bent them off to match the negative screws that we're going to trap them under later. So what I'm going to try here now is I'm going to wrap them around these little, you know, these guys, what everybody has. So we're going to give it a go. I think I'm going to go for, I hope I have enough wire on here. We're going to go for 5 or 6 wraps on each one. So what I'm going to do here, try to get one of these guys braced by this coil, and we're just going to start trying to wrap some coils here. Now these are probably going to turn out pretty funky at first because this is quite a difficult way to build the cat's RDA. That's 4 and then 5. So get that pulled as tight as you can, and I'm going to pull it back down like that. Let me see. Not the prettiest ones in the world, but building it like this, it's kind of what you got to deal with. So I'll pull this out just to get it out of the way. Move on to the next side. Same thing. Brace your screwdriver and wrap some coils. There's 2, 3, 4. Is that 4? 1, 2, 3. So I think that's the same as the other one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Alright. So I just kind of pull it down so it's out of the way. Remove the screwdriver and move on to the next one. This is a little difficult for me because I do have shaky hands sometimes. But we're still going to give it a go. 1, 2, oops, messed up my music. 3 and 4. Pull it down. Next. Alright, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know what? I think I'm going to do one more wrap on all these. This is going to be a quad coil building here, so the resistance is going to be pretty low even though it is 26 gauge. And the cats, as you can see, it doesn't have that great of a juice well. Almost all of your juice is going to be held in the cotton. So I'm going to go one more wrap on these just to bump the resistance up a little bit, and so I don't have to worry about maybe getting a dry hit on this. Like I said, I have run this build before and it tends to be a juice hog. Not the easiest build in the world. Try to make sure you compress the coils as much as you can while you're doing it. Save you a little work in the end. Alright. That was a wire I was worried about. It's a bit shorter than the others. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and an over. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and over. Alright. So what we need to do now, we need to pull this down some, because we're going to trap this side under this screw here. And I'm going to do it, actually I think I'm going to go inside, like that right there. Get my other screwdriver, a nice purple flathead screwdriver. Back that out a little bit. And my king is coming apart on me. I'm doing something stupid here. Don't build with the battery in there. Even though this is a recess button, it still could possibly fire. Alright. So I've got the wire almost under that screw. There we go. I'm going to pull that coil just a little bit so you can kind of use it to brace right there. And we're going to tighten this negative down. If this thing will cooperate with me. Tighten her down nice and tight. And grab that coil and pull it out some. Alright, next up, same deal. Make sure I've got that out far enough. I'll do it the same as I'm going to pull it back under. And then go around that screw. As you can see, this RDA is not the easiest to build on. It's quite fiddly. But once you get it built, it is a very nice vape. A lot of people get turned off by this RDA because of the difficulty of building it. Because of this kind of stuff, getting these things trapped in here. I did kind of shoot myself in the foot a little bit. I should have wrapped these coils around the negative post so that when I tightened it, it helped hold it in there. But we're good. We're going to work with it. Same thing on the last coil. Or not the last one, this is the third one. Pull it under, try to tighten it up some. Take the screw out so you can get the wire underneath there. You see how it's slipping off there? I'm not a fan of flathead screws in any RDA because of that. I would much prefer a Phillip or a hex. Some people don't like hex. I like them. Get this wire down in here. Yeah, I definitely should have tried to trap it the other way. It's all good though. Tighten her down nice and tight. Pull that coil, kind of tighten it up some. And the last one. Oh, and now I've got some juice in my fingers. Makes this a little more difficult. Pull that wire back underneath. Get it under that screw and tighten her down really tight. And then we have the beginnings of a build. Oh wow, there you go. It's a good thing I got more. Like a boss. It's the first one of those I broke. Alright. I think that one coil, the legs are a little shorter than the others, but it shouldn't be too big of a problem. So we're going to take our fingernail clippers now. And one thing I have noticed with the cats is you need to clip these leads off as far as, actually I'm going to try to just rotate them off. Because there we go. Nice and flush there. If you leave a little bit sticking out over the deck here, like if you just leave the wire out that way and you try to clip it off flush, when you put the bell over the top, it'll hit that wire and it won't sit down all the way. So we're just going to do that again and twist them off. Kind of hard when you got juice in your hands. There we go. Now go back and double check, make sure they're all tight. Get everything nice and snug. Yeah, that one was a little loose. And retighten the center post. Okay. Now I'm going to go back here with the screwdriver. Get a Phillips head because they're easier to work with. And give these a little tug. And what you're doing is you're getting them lined up, and plus you're pulling out the any slack that might be in them. Yeah, a couple of these do have longer legs. Shouldn't be too much of a problem though. And once we start pulsing these coils, we'll get them tightened up a bit more. Alright, so there we go. Quad coils on the cats. 26 gauge with 2 strands of wire. So I'm not going to use the sleeper term because it's not correct. So 2 single strands for 4 coils. So we're going to put our battery back in. Now I'll show you one slight issue with the cats. Is the 510 is very long. Pull this whole top off for you. The 510 on this sucker is long. It's got a very protruding screw right there. So when I put it on my top cap, even though I've got the battery adjustment screw all the way in, now this is specific to this mod, there's quite a significant gap there on the King. So I'm going to back the button off some. If I want to have that gap, I like it better down here. Alright, so now we're going to do some pulsing. If I can find my tweezers. What did I do with my tweezers? I always have, there they are. Cheetah. We're going to give them some firing. That's actually not too bad right off the bat. I mean, if I didn't want to get them all tightened up, that's not bad. But we are going to tighten them up some. Get them compressed, and then I'm going to stick that screwdriver back in and help line them up some more. We're getting there, slowly but surely. I'm going to stick the screwdriver back in that one because it's getting a little deformed. Blame the tweezers on that. Reposition them a little bit too. Pull that one down some. And then we'll give them another fire. That's still not bad at all. Can almost live with that. That one's getting a little hot spot. It is definitely not the prettiest build I've ever done, but I guarantee you it'll work just fine. Alright, get them all equally cooled off here and then see if they're all even. I watched a lot of videos where somebody will pull some coils, tighten one up, and then fire it and be like, well, that one's running hotter. And like, no, I mean it is, but it's not. It's running hotter because you just absorbed all the heat into your tweezers or your needle nose. And they'll sit there and bounce back and forth fiddling with them because the one's always running hotter. I can definitely live with that. So we'll cool them off again. Just absorbing that heat. And now we're going to wick it up. Again, once you start doing this, make sure you lock your mod. Even though I got a recess button, lock it. Got some cotton here. All this is freaking small bag from Walmart, 88 cents. I've gotten quite fond of this stuff. It's really small cotton balls. This is one completely pulled out, but they seem to work a lot better than some of the bigger ones. It's much softer too. Pull out some there. Now this is how I work my cotton. I kind of tug on it till it gets the diameter that I want, and plus it helps line up some of the fibers. These are fairly small diameter coils wrapping around those little screws, but don't want it too thick. Remember, you don't want too much cotton in there, you just want a little bit, because cotton will expand once it's wet. Alright, and just kind of roll it up some. And we took that one piece of cotton. Here was the original length of that, and we just about double the length of it. So that's going to be plenty to go in here. Get it rolled down a little bit. Now I'm going to find the middle, or around the middle. Just give it a little tug apart, and that's going to give me a nice thinner area to point on. And I'm going to do it again, and then one more time with the last piece. Roll yourself up a nice little point there. Go right through the coil. Just like so. And we'll go around and get all of them wicked up. I like running my cotton the same direction on each coil. That's just me. A little obsessive about details like that. Now I have wicked this before with a single strand of cotton, which was interesting. I've done it with cotton ball and cotton yarn. Didn't really see any improvements or performance or anything. It just made it more difficult to wick. Oops. Give her a little twist if you need to help it get through there. But remember, you don't want it tight. You want it just kind of snug, where you can still move it kind of freely. Alright, now that looks like a mess. So what we're going to do is we're going to clip off, I guess about that much on each side. And remember, this thing does not have much of a juice well, so almost all of your juice is going to be held in the cotton. You might be removing a little too much, but we'll make it work. Alright. Now, should have got myself better prepared for this. I like to use a straightened paper clip for tucking wire. It's small enough to get in there. And also use these to wrap super nanos on sometimes. So what we're going to do is we're just going to come in here, grab the cotton, fold it underneath the coils on one side, and then we're going to go behind it on the other side, just like that. So underneath on one side, and then behind on the other. This just makes it a little easier to get all the wick in there. Oops, I went the wrong way with that one. Come back out. Underneath. And behind. And the last one, underneath. And behind it. I have a feeling I did use too little cotton. This probably won't hold that much juice. I might get like 2 pulls out of this. Alright, there we are, sitting pretty. One thing I didn't do, which I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to ohm this bad boy out. .18, pretty low. The last time I did this build was with 24 gauge, and it was like 0.12, I believe. Alright, we are wicked. We are ready for some juice. What am I going to use? Oh, let's see. What am I going to use? There we go. Let's try this. TJ's Affordable E-Juice Peanut Butter Cookie. Some amazing stuff. Andrew and I recently did a review on this, which I'm going to try to get uploaded today, or tonight actually. Get it edited and uploaded tonight when I go to bed, because my internet is really slow for upload speeds. I'm not going to sit around and wait 5 hours for it to upload when I could be playing a game or something. So let's get this all nice and saturated. Alright, let's give her a fire, see how she does. A little excess juice in there right now. Turn some of that off. We're vaping away. Alright, now for the cat's cap. If you're familiar with this RDA, it has a 2-piece design on the top cap. This is your inner bell, as I call it. And it's got 6 holes around it, so you don't need to be too picky about where you put it when you put it on. But I do want to at least have 1 air hole in front of each coil. If you see it, it's got 6 holes and they line up opposite of each other. So I've got 2 coils that are opposite of each other. So I'm going to stick those air holes right across in front of them. Almost let them mess up with this build here. And bam, if you can see that, there's a coil right there in front of that air hole. Now once that part's on there, the outer belt or the outer sleeve can go on any way you want. So I'm just going to line it up with a logo on the King. If I can get her on there, and you get some juice on that O-ring. Come off. Come off. There we go. See, it pulls the belt off with it. Get a little juice in that O-ring there. Oh, hold on, I gotta mute something. Alright, there we go. We have the cats on the King. What drip tip do I want? We'll go with a brass gold-plated Chi drip tip because it almost matches. And we'll see how she bakes. Alright, pull the camera up here so you can see me. And I will show you how she is doing. Let me get some more juice in here first though. This is some incredible juice. Tastes exactly like a fresh freaking homemade peanut butter cookie. I'll show you how she goes.